Okay. I've waited on making this video a long time, but I'll start off by saying if you didn't watch the intro video to this series, you need to go watch it now because it will explain the format and the way that we're going to do this. And so I don't have to go over that. I can just get started on this today. But the way I want to start this is I will tell you what we're talking about today, why we're talking about it, and then we'll just mention the opposite real quick before I go right into the actual subject. So the subject we're talking about, or subjects rather, because there are two, because they go hand in hand completely, and that'll make sense when we're all done, is category selection and formatting your OBS so that you have a proper preview window on the Twitch browse page. Both of these things are super important. They interact with each other all the time. So again, category selection and OBS formatting. I know that seems weird, but the point of this video is that on Twitter and on YouTube, everybody with like that 0 to 40 viewer range is being given horrible advice. They're being given and fed advice for people who have 50 to 100 people for concurrent viewers. They are being given advice to expand their reach, not to create a platform for them to stand on. And that's a major issue, because what you end up having is you have these Twitter celebrities that aren't even playing in our arena. They are growing their channels by telling people how to grow their channels, and that's not what most of you want to do. You don't want to be streamer advice. You don't want to be that. So they're saying make external content like I'm making external content, but their external content is not the external content you're going to make, and their advice is really, really bad for small streamers. I would say it's almost worthless. I see people all the time on Twitter just making clips and making YouTube videos and all of this stuff, and they put all this effort and time into it. And it puts them in this weird position where if you look them up on Solinome, their streams are not growing, like at all, or over a year's time they grow in like 2 or 3 concurrent viewers, and so they're sitting at 8. And it's like, was that time well spent, or could you have sped that up a lot more? And that's what I want to assist with. Is I want to assist in actual growth with these two factors, because this is how I've grown. And I'll show you my numbers so that you know how much authority I have. I'm not going to be somebody who says, no, trust me, this works. I'm going to be somebody who says, this has worked for me and here is why. And we'll talk about all sorts of things, the psychology behind some of the decisions we make, just the way it practically will affect you. But that's why I want to talk about these two subjects. I want to talk about these two subjects because nobody is, and everybody is pretending they're growing, but they could be growing if they just actually made a few smart decisions. So I guess we can just get into it. So why don't I go ahead? Let me think about where I want to start. As I said in the intros, the format of this is going to be much more casual. I'm going to be a lot less worried about presentation, correcting myself, speaking properly. I'll correct myself if I say something wrong, and I won't delete it. So with that in mind, maybe I want to pull up my stats first, so you see who I am, what I do, before we talk about... Yeah, I guess we could do it that way. So let's see. I guess I don't have my Stream Deck plugged in right. Let's see. Okay, let's go here. Sweet. Okay. So the reason I know this works and the tips I'm going to give you, let's just pull up my numbers. What are we at? So this is on Solinome. Solinome's a great tool. It doesn't show you how close somebody is to partnership. It doesn't show you how many of their viewers are raid viewers. It doesn't show you anything like that. And so I guess I'll go here real quick in my analytics so that you know as I'm talking about this stuff, I'm not raid fed. This is my 30-day right now, my current 30-day. If you notice, I have a lot of variety in my games. That's really, really on purpose, and we could talk about that in category selection during some point in this video. But just notice I'm not playing the same game. I have a 71 viewer average with a pretty big uptick here of 14. And then my hours watched, followers gained in the last 30 days, 327. These are all on platform. These are not. If I've gained anything off any other platform, it would be Twitter, and it's probably been like 5 people. Peak viewers 141. I'll show you my raid percentages so you can actually see that these numbers are real from me. So maybe let me put it on. I guess we'll go straight to analytics real quick. So analytics, this is important to me for a couple of reasons. So let's look at host and raid. This is going to be the important thing. So as you could see, one day I got a pretty big raid from actually 2 good friends that day. That's on a Thursday night stream. That's 9 p.m. here, all the way until 3 in the morning. So this is kind of a late night thing. Usually my late nights, if you look, I bet this is a Thursday too. It is. On Thursdays, I pick up extra raids. My day streams, I don't pick up raids. We're talking, 0.83%. Yesterday's was 0.3%. So my raid percent's actually, I think it's comparatively low to other people. 4.45% hosts and raids. This is January. Why don't I just put it on 30 days? 4.52 for a 30-day, right? So with that in mind, I don't get a lot of raids. Let's look at max viewers so we can see as we're looking at, this says a peak of 141. It solely registers it different than your analytics. They take different snapshots. So let's look at max viewers. So my max viewer, the big day I had was on a raid day. But let's look at these other ones, these other days, and this is going to be the important thing. And I'll explain why I'm saying this in a second. Is these, what is this? These 6 days over here, I have very few raids. 5.8% is the biggest one, and that's night stream right there. Well, no, that's a night stream. Wednesday's a night stream. So with that in mind, let's look at this. Got our raid percent. Let's look at our max viewers. Okay, so 134 Friday, 131 that day. You'll notice Wednesday, that day I got a bigger raid, 85. So the point is I'm very often pulling, numbers over 100 natural from the browse page, not from raids, from the browse page. That is very important. My follows, let's see. What day was my big raid? My big raid was on Thursday the 9th. Let's see, Thursday the 9th. Okay, we got 20 followers that day in 5.5 hours. Every other one of these, 29, 20, 19, 19, 22, 21, 31 on this day, which is not a raid day, 2.2%. I want to distinguish really quick the difference between an on-platform follow and an off-platform follow. Off-platform follow, they're not catching you live. There's not interaction. They're commonly finding a VOD or they're responding to a clip or something. They don't get that interaction. They don't get that connection that you get to have with them as a streamer that can impress them and impact them in a way that makes them want to be there, makes them understand that they are valued. And so when somebody comes from the browse page and they do that, and you literally can welcome them in word and in deed, the impact you have is so much greater. I don't know how to explain that psychologically more, but I think it's easily understood that a live follow is much more valuable than a post-stream follow or an external source follow, because you don't know how often they come to that category to engage with people. You don't know how you earned that follow in the same way or how impactful it was, but you have control over that when you actually are live. So on-platform follows are more valuable. I would rather have 320 on-platform follows than 2,000, 3,000 off-platform in a month. And I don't want to pull up other people's stats. I want to be careful with Twitch TOS with that, because there are people who I could pull up stats who get, 3,000, 4,000 follows, but they're running 20 concurrent viewers as a partner. I'm looking at you. And it's like their thousands of followers are worthless. They're not doing anything. and my 320 is meaningful. Our average goes up. So with that in mind, that's our 30-day, right? I want to point out to you that the summary of showing you this is to show you that the growth that I experience is from the browse page, because we're making a few decisions and because we're doing a few specific things to do that. Let's go ahead and go back over here real quick to Sully, because this is where I'll show you the evidence of the tactics that I will show you in a second. So maybe we'll put it on our 180. We could probably put it on 180. Yeah. Okay. So if you look right here, I'll just explain this real quick because I know people are going to look at my stats and be like, "Yo, what's going on here? Why are you so down?" Well, this is when I moved around October. This is when I had some internet trouble, and during this time period, we actually were prepping to move. I stream full time now. We don't have very many expenses in life, so I'm able to do this, grow my channel, and you basically see right here where I decided to make the move to full time. But this section here is when I was preparing to move and did move several states from Oregon to Colorado, and so streaming August, September was down. October, I was in my new home. There's a big gap here because we didn't stream because I didn't have my internet set up. And then right here is where we start. And you see this major uptick because I'm spending time on platform making the right decisions. You can grow on platform, and that's what we're talking about. So my 180 days, 52 viewers. I can pretty authoritatively speak about how to grow your channel out of the 0 to 40 range. And as I am now approaching, the mid 70s and clearly tracking and trending higher, I can share that stuff as we go too. Anything above that, I don't know. We'll figure out when we get there. I have a feeling that decisions similar will be made to what I've made. There's a few changes I'm making that I'll talk about as far as engagement and refocus on community, maybe on another video. But what I want to show is I just want to acknowledge, like, hey, I didn't stream very much here because guess what? I was moving and I was working full time during this time period. I used to only stream 12 hours a week, and now I stream 35 or so. Sometimes more, sometimes, depending on what's going on. So we see a continual growth in follows. We see a continual growth in views. You see my game directory position continually. Actually, this goes hand in hand with what we're doing. You will see these blue lines. The green lines aren't important. The blue lines are important. They show that I'm consistently getting to the top couple positions on whatever category I'm in. And that is going to be key for today. And that's what we're going to talk about. Twitter will tell you you are allowed to play anything you want to grow. That's wrong and it's stupid. If you want to do this, there's a couple different type of streamers, right? There's some who are going to do it as a legitimate hobby. I have a brother who just streams the games he plays, and it's great for him. He's not trying to grow his channel. He enjoys when he grows his channel, but his point isn't to grow, to succeed, to make an income. The whole point of him doing it is it's clearly a hobby. And so he plays anything he wants, and his channel grows like he plays anything he wants. And that's fine. You're allowed to be that sort of person because that's great. He really enjoys it, and I love that he enjoys it. Then you have the person who wants to have a successful hobby. They're a career person working some other job, but they also want, when they stream, they want to succeed, and they want to feel good about the growth. And that type of person should be following the things we're going to lay out here, because they don't spend much time on platform. And so if they want to be growing, they're not going to be playing Fortnite. They really aren't. And if they are growing during Fortnite, they're either an outlier, which we'll talk about that idea, or they could be growing a hell of a lot faster. So those are your two types of hobbyists, right? And then you have your career streamer. Career streamers want to grow. If you are a career streamer, if you want to be a career streamer, rather, and you're sitting between 0 and 50 viewers, you don't get to play what you want. You can still enjoy anything you play because video games are fun, but you do not get to play anything you want. Otherwise, you are going to be stunting your growth and you're going to be pretending that you're growing faster than you are. And so I wanna bring up a couple things here. Let me see if I can find it right. Should be under Game Picker probably. Let's do a 180 day on Game Picker. So you can kind of direct where you're at and what you're doing here. I'm going to go ahead. Right now I'm in the 70s, right? I'm going to go ahead and leave it at 52 because I want to get an accurate read on where I was during the time I played these games. So let's go ahead and do follows per hour in the past 180 days. Now, I want to state something really clearly. You are going to have people who say follows don't matter. And the reason they say follows don't matter is because all of the people who say follows don't matter collect their follows off stream. So their follows, sure, they probably don't matter. If you're growing on stream, they matter. And I would point out to the evidence of my stream growth and my concurrent viewership continually climbing as my follows have increased. Follows do matter on platform. Anybody who says otherwise doesn't understand what it's like to follow somebody on platform that you're enjoying. So here is my goal, and I'll show you how we select games. I'll show you all this, but category selection is the most important thing ever. Like, hands down, it is the most important thing on Twitch. There's a couple other factors, but like I said, every decision you make, game selection increases your percent chance. OBS setup increases your percent chance. The way you look increases your percent chance. The things you say increase your percent chance. Call to action increases your percent chance. And so the idea is to do enough of these things to increase your percent chance. But the biggest factor of them is game selection. Your goal in game selection is always to be in the top 10 of a game. If you are not in the top 10 of a game, you are probably not going to be found. And if you are, it's because everybody above you has a visual issue. I want to show you guys, evidentially, with my stats, nobody else's, I want to show you the results of being in the top position. I'll address a couple of the variances in it too. Outlast. We played through Outlast. What is that, an 8-hour game? So almost 3.5 follows per hour during that game. Why? Because I was in the top position. It's important. Skyrim, 3.2 follows per hour. I was in the 4th position. Now, I skipped over Minecraft. I'll tell you, the reason I have 3.2 in Minecraft is because I caught a raid from somebody who I've become a very good friend with. That he raided us that night, and now I adore him, and he's a great friend. But we caught a raid, and we handled it very well, and they were very welcoming, and oddly enough, we did gather permanent viewers from that raid. But the reason we are so high, we did not do Minecraft as a growth selection. We did it because we started a Minecraft server, and we wanted to stream us all playing together, my friends, the community that I get to be part of. So that's why we're in position 55. He just happened to find us because we were higher up that evening. But Last of Us, I'm currently playing through that. 2.3 follows per hour. Dark Souls, I have played, I want to say a quarter of my time on Twitch has been in Dark Souls 3. Two follows per hour on Dark Souls. Why? Because I was in the top 10. Darkest Dungeon. Currently it says I'm in number 4. Usually when I play Darkest Dungeon, I do a longer stream. I typically end in the top position. Two follows an hour. This was kind of a one-off. I won't use that as evidence. I only got a few follows out of that because it was a short stream. Jump King. I'll beat it someday. Less than 2 follows an hour, but that still is pretty damn good. Every 30 minutes or so, it's popping off. Slay the Spire, 1.5. Death Stranding, 1.5 follows an hour. Doki Doki, 1.5 follows an hour. We're going to avoid Antichamber, and I'll tell you why in a minute. Because we'll talk about dead categories. Team Fortress, we surprisingly grew that night, even though that community is a challenging community. We used to play Team Fortress as a community night, and on a community night, still 1.3. Moons of Madness. We chose the right time to stream it, actually. When we did stream it, it was about 3 days after it came out, and we were in the top 5 to 10 each time, so a little over 1. And then you start getting into other things. I do a show once a week in Just Chatting called Community Review. We still get 1 follow an hour out of that. Evil Within was one of our slowest games. We still got almost a follow an hour. And then you get into things that I've barely played, right? Or haven't played. So, I want to show you why that's important. Let me think about how I want to show you that. Let's just go to Twitch. We'll probably jump back and forth on this, but I want you guys to get that there is a link between follows per hour and positioning. And what that means is that I'm going to say the most heartbreaking thing ever. If you stream Fortnite and Apex, if you stream any of these games, well, guess what, dude? You're not going to grow. And sometimes, let's say, okay, just hypothetically, Jump King's behind my head. Let's click it real fast. I bet you there's a big streamer. There is. And so, you know what? If you have 20 viewers here, you're going to be in the top 10 still. So I just want to bring that up, as sometimes it still is okay to do one of these big ones. But if you have, let's say hypothetically, if you have 20 concurrent viewers and you're playing Fortnite, well, okay, how far down do we have to scroll? Let's just go. Let's go until we get to 20 viewers. We're still going here. Down to 20. Let's find when we have 20. All right, so you guys with 40 concurrent viewers, you'd be just above this. We would have had to scroll down this far. Now, out of all the people that I scrolled past, especially with the way the browser works with it getting stuck and loading new frames, I mean, I'm not seeing anything pop out at me that makes me click on people, right? So why are people going to click on you? Okay, you get 20. If you got 20 concurrent viewers, we're just approaching the place where you're going to show up, where you're going to be potentially discoverable. That's so silly. Now, let's go ahead instead. And actually, you know what? Let's do a hypothetical here. I'm curious how many followers and viewers. Let's see if this falls in line here. Just randomly. Why don't we pick somebody who has why do all these people have horrible previews? Let's click on somebody who makes me want to click on him actually real quick, because we're going to talk about that later too. But oh my gosh, why are all you guys okay? I'll explain what a good preview is in a minute. But let's just you know what? Let's click on Pyrolix. Who's this guy? Let's see what he's got popping. How many followers you got, dude? 3,749 or 3,074. Okay, 3,074. So there's that. Let's click on another person real quick. Come on, load. Can we do this? Let's click on well, okay, let's go to a different category then. CS:GO. Hey, CS:GO. Let's do that. Let's scroll down. Let's scroll down to the 50s. Say, okay. So, Pollen. Who are you, Pollen? How many followers you got, dude? 91,398. Okay. 91,398. He is a partner. He has... Can we go back without it kicking us all the way up? Where are you? Where was he? Pollen. He has been streaming for 3 hours, and he has 53 concurrent viewers. He is a Twitch partner, and, 91,000 followers. Now, let's, I like to use it as an example. Let's go ahead and go to Darkest Dungeon, because it fits a lot of I play it a lot, but it fits a lot of the qualifications. So let's go to Darkest Dungeon. Darkest Dungeon right now, it's got 703 viewers. So maybe let's, what did that guy have? 50? So let's look at this guy who has 71 concurrent viewers. Loki Doki GG. Loki Doki, what do you got, man? How many followers you got? He's a Twitch partner. He has 14,000. So that's That's significantly better, right? So maybe let's kind of continue to exemplify this. Who's this guy with 128? He's been streaming for 51 minutes, right? What's he got? 15K. All right. He's got 15K. He's a Twitch partner. He's got 131. That's a lot better than 91,050. Positioning matters. And I'll tell you why. I'll use this as an example real quick. Is you know what? Let's go ahead and click something that looks fun here. Maybe Teamfight Tactics. Okay, Teamfight Tactics. I've seen it a couple times. I watched a few guys play it. It's cool. Not everybody's bag of tea, but bag of chips, cup of tea, bag of chips. That I mixed them up. But let's see. So we come here, and we get to see the top 10 positions immediately. Now, do I have reason to scroll further? Because this is what most people do. You may be the sort of person who scrolls down. I will tell you, most people do not. Statistically, the way it works out, most people do not scroll down. So, everybody below this line, unless all of these previews look like trash, which, I mean, they're all similar, but they're fine, they're going to get clicks. Second we start scrolling down, okay, I see more of the same. Okay, cool. So at this point, do I have any reason to keep scrolling? I don't. So all of these people are like the second wave of like, okay, cool, I'm going to click them, right? Like this is how people think. This is how most people, this is how the majority of people do Twitch. If you follow from off platform, you are an outlier. You are not normal. Most people who browse Twitch, most people who watch Twitch, if they're not already watching a streamer they love, they use the browse feature. They'll look up a game they love. Let's go ahead and let's just go to Dark Souls 3. I love Dark Souls. Dark Souls my fave, man, and it's always a rocking category, right? We got 1.9K viewers. At this point, if you don't have, well, let's look at this. Is there anybody I would click here? Well, yeah, you know what? I'd actually Astro Annie. I'd click Astro Annie. You want to know why? Because I can see her. We'll talk about that later. But I'm going to do that. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to look at a preview image and I'm going to click somebody. I'm not going to scroll down. I have no reason to scroll down. Everything here, if I don't know who people are, everything here is just as good as everything down here, except this one already has viewer stamp of approval. If I see 155 people watching somebody, well, I can assume 155 people are having fun, and there's something psychologically for me as a viewer that, you know what, I'm going to do that. Okay, so maybe you watch smaller streamers. All right, cool. So where's that line for you? Is it in the 20s? Probably. It's probably in the 20s. So somebody's going to stop here. There are people who go down to the bottom. It's not a lot of people. It's not most people. You want to know how I know that? Because if it was most people, they wouldn't have 7 viewers. They wouldn't have 5 viewers. If more people scrolled to the bottom and clicked, then those people would go up to the top. So thinking that, hey, some people like smaller streamers, well, if you think that way, that's a small number because those people remain small streamers. It doesn't make sense. If you want to grow, if you want to get discovered, you have to land in the top 10. If you come back over here, all of my real ones, because Minecraft doesn't count, all of my real ones are top 10. If I can't be in the top 10 position of a game, I won't play it. Why? Because I want to grow my channel. I might do a one-off for fun with my friends, but I will not purposefully do that. You are lied to if you are told from streamer Twitter or anywhere else that you just get to play whatever you want and you can drag people in. I wish I could pull up other people's numbers on here. I would encourage you to. There is not a successful way of doing that. You know what? Maybe I can do it off screen and I can read you. Yeah, I can do that because I don't want to say who this is. But maybe I can do this. Let me make sure you can't see. Yeah, okay, I can do this. I'm going to read you. This person, I'm going to look at their 180 day. This person has 8.5K followers. They are a Twitch partner. They have a peak viewership in 180 days of 143. Okay, cool. Great. Their average viewership, this is a person who is extremely active on Twitter. They are constantly posting clips. They are constantly involved in controversy. They are constantly doing all the things that you're told to do. Well, I'm looking at this right now, and they are actually on a slight decline. They had, half a year ago, 25 average viewership. Now they have 18, so they're on a decline. Okay, so they stream variety. I see a whole bunch of games, probably about as much as I do. I'm going to go to Game Picker for them. I'm even going to increase their channel views in Game Picker to 25. Let's see what it was. Let's see what it was then. I bet you anything that this is still going to hold true. Maybe I can hide their name. Update table. Come on. Okay, follows per hour last 180 days. We could do that. We could do the same scale. All right. So let's see. Maybe I'll just read it to you guys. So let's see. Follows per hour. Their top game that they got follows per hour was Outlast. They got 3 follows per hour. They were in position 2 at that point. Their next best game is, let's see. Well, Goose. Untitled Goose Game. 1.5. They were in the top 10. Their next best game, all of a sudden you're getting below one an hour. They were in 12th position in Red Dead, and they got 0.74. Death Stranding, 0.5. Those are their best categories. Everything else is like, let me see if I can give you a good example of these. Yeah, I wish I could pull this up, but it's gonna show who it is with the top bar. How can I exemplify this right? There's not a good way to exemplify this right. I'm looking at a bunch of directory positions with them that are like in the hundreds. And when they're in the hundreds, they're like 0.25 followers per hour. 1 follower every 4 hours. And those, very likely for this person, are external follows. Like, it's so bad. Because they're not picking their category. You have to pick your category. Like, category is hands down. Yeah, I wish I could show you. You can get in trouble for TOS stuff with Twitch off platform, and I don't want to, in savable media, badmouth another person. So it's like game category selection. That person's most successful categories, they were in the top 10. Everything else, they were in the hundreds, and they were trash. Absolute trash. And you know what? Their follows per hour showed that. Or their concurrent viewership showed that. There is a correlation between game positioning and concurrent viewership. It really, really matters. And I want people to understand that that's a principle. Is if you cannot be in the top 10, don't play the game. Conversely, you have the other side of it, where also don't play dead games. I mentioned earlier that I played Antichamber. I showed Antichamber to people for 20 minutes when a save game of another game broke once, and I had like no time left in stream. I was like, can I show you guys one of my favorite games ever? So I showed it for like 20 minutes, and I didn't want to ruin it for people. So I would never play Antichamber on stream, and here's why. Antichamber. I would never play it on stream. It's got literally nobody's here. You're not going to find a follow. You're not going to find a browsing viewer. You're not going to find anything at all. It's just, don't play dead categories unless it's for a fun event for your community that already exists. Dead categories are bad. Overpopulated categories are bad. I know we all know that, but nobody ever points out directory position. You need to know your minimum number of people that show up. At this point, If I turn on my stream within 30 minutes, typically I'm sitting at what, 40 within 30 minutes of when I turn on my stream. Within an hour, we're sitting at what, 60 to 70 now? Usually like 60, right? And so I can look at that and I subtract a few numbers and I go, okay, with 40, what game can I play? You know what? With 40, can I play For Honor? Would I be able to play For Honor here? I'll select a game for you guys and I'll show you. With 40 viewers, I can play For Honor, and I will be in position 2. And you know what? Out of everybody on this screen, I'm going to get the click, and I'll tell you why. This is another factor. Do I want to go here yet? Do I want to go here? Yeah, I will. I will actually go here. Look, Gilroy's in front. He's a friend of mine, actually. And you know what? He made a great category selection. Really cool. Really cool to see him in the top position. Gilroy has been making smart choices with the games he's playing. This is one of them. So, do I want to continue beating this into your head? I think I do, just for another minute. On another video, we can talk about the importance of your long-term plan as far as category selection. I purposefully stream a lot of things, but there's also a lot of consistency in my scheduling. I don't play more than 3 games. I have a permanent game. I have a permanent show. I have a game. I have story games that I rotate through to give people a taste of variety, because that's a long-term plan. I want people to get used to watching me and not used to watching a game. If it's possible to game lock yourself, and some people do great being game locked, and some people, we have really good friends who got game locked and then their game died, and they were streaming for 70, 60, 70 people regularly, and now it's hard to get 20, 25, and it's a bummer to see. So category selection is just so important to know. Let's what other categories are my friends playing right now? Okay. I'll just do 2 more, all right? Let's do retro. Let's do retro right now. Cat. Okay. So retro. I would land. Now retro's a little different, I guess. You know what? Let's not do retro. We can talk about retro some other time. Retro's actually a little different because people actually browse retro looking for games. So rather, let's do Spelunky. Lethal Frag's playing Spelunky. Now, I bet you anything that this is a dead category. Yep. It's mostly a dead category. So you got Lethal Frag playing, right? And he's going to get up to 1,000 viewers. It's going to boost the category. But here's your problem. If I come to this browse page and I don't see a bunch of people streaming it, you better believe they're here for Lethal Frag. They're not in this category for anybody else. Maybe Michael Al Fox. But they're not here for other people. So they're not going to be here for you likely. If I came to this category, I would probably, even though he doesn't have a camera, I'd be like, "Oh, who's Lethal Frag?" And if I want a camera, I'm clicking Michael. I'll tell you, I didn't even look at these other categories. There's something psychological about seeing a big streamer with a bunch of people who don't have viewers. So Spelunky, I probably wouldn't play Spelunky. Probably wouldn't, unless it was for something special. Let's do, at this point, Star Wars, right? I like exemplifying this because it's important for people to see the process. Star Wars. I'd play Star Wars. I'd be in #1 spot because I'd get 40, and I'll tell you right now, my preview image would get more clicks than theirs. And we will explain that in just a moment. But I'd be in top position in this category, 100%. If not top 2. We'll say top 2. So I would play Star Wars. Why? Because look at all these people playing Star Wars down here with no viewers. It shows that there's interest in the category. There's interest in streaming it. There's going to be interest. If there's a bunch of interest in streaming something, there's going to be interest in viewership. That they go hand in hand. Now, you get into this area. I will tell you, anybody who has, here's what I would say. If you got 20 viewers right now, as of January 2020, get your ass playing Star Wars. That's a good place to meet people. We'll do one more. Let's see. What would be a good one? Let's do, you know what? Let's do Rocket League. My man Papa Stanimus is over there running his tournaments. Let's go ahead and do Rocket League. Rocket League. Guess what, guys? If you don't have 100 viewers, you're probably not going to get a click. You're just not. Because you know what? Right now, I'll tell you, I'm clicking on this guy. Why am I clicking on him? Because I can see him plainly and clearly. There's a bunch of hype around him. He's got 245 viewers. That guy interests me because I can see him. Stanimus down here doing his thing right behind my head. You got all these other people. Man, this is a competitive category. You are going to have to do something special here to get a click down here. And you know what? That means you'd better hope nobody's doing special stuff up here. So I hope game category makes sense. Like let's say, you know what? Dan's playing Riven right now. Wow, that must be popping, right? So cool. Like, I love Dan. Everybody loves Dan, right? Dan's gaming. Well, let's go ahead and look at Riven. Guess what? It's just Dan. Are you going to get a click here? Nah, probably not. You probably aren't. Somebody comes here. I'm going to go to Dan. I might give you a mercy click if there's like one person, but if there were like 3 or 4 here, I'm not clicking it, dude. I'm going to Dan. And most people are going to do that. You want to know how we know that? Because everybody's there right now. We'll do one more. Bloodborne. You better hope you got 30 viewers at least. If you don't have 30 viewers in Bloodborne, you're not getting a click. And you know what? These people are hyper faithful. They're going to go to Cook, even without a camera, they're going to go to Cookie. Everybody knows who Cookie is, right? Like, Ivan's down here. Ivan kills it, man. You're going to click on Ivan. You know these names here. You need to have, if you're not a member of this community already and you want to grow, you're going to need to have 30 to 40 viewers in here. Just to, because I'm already going to click these guys instead of you. Category selection matters. People do not scroll. You can tell me people scroll, but if people scrolled and clicked on people, then these categories would be full and they'd be higher up top. The fact that low view categories exist means that most people don't scroll and click, and you have to understand that. You have to aim for top 10. Game selection can be a challenge when you get to that, but the way you go about it is you pull up the game list that you have, stuff you may be interested in playing, and then you look at the time that you stream, and you see just during that day, you see if it's streamable. You see where you would fall. If Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, you can get in here with 45, 50 viewers, well then cool. You're probably next Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday going to be fine to do that because streamers keep schedules mostly. Category selection matters. It is the key factor. The biggest factor in actual growth. The other factor that goes hand in hand, and I've said it several times, is who would you click? OBS formatting matters a lot. There's a reason I run mine the way I do. I will show it to you. Let's I guess since we're in Bloodborne, we can do it. But there are a few factors, and this I'm just going to tack on. This is probably not going to be a long thing, but this is important, right? There are a few factors that go into getting a click. When people category search on Twitch, they've already selected a game. Here's the order it works, right? They go to the game, so they already know they're looking at Bloodborne. Then, the next thing a person does is they look at a face. You go to Twitch for a streamer. You've already picked your game. I'm already going to watch the game. I'm no longer going, okay, what game am I going to do? No, it's all one game. The next thing you do is you look at a face. And so I have to see your face. And you know what a really good example? We got a couple really good examples here. I don't see any horrible example. Well, actually, I do see a horrible example. The funny thing is, I didn't see it because it was hidden. Let's look at this guy right here, Art Games. Great preview image. He's big. He's big right there. He's at least a third of his screen. Actually, if I were him, I'd be a little bit bigger. In fact, I am in this video. There's a reason I'm big, and I'll show you in a second. But he's gonna be the first person to get a click from me probably. Rebs is probably gonna get a click from me. Look at her, she's right there. I could see her. You know who's not gonna get a click from me out of all these people? This guy. You want to know why? He does have a camera. It's behind the number. It's behind the uptime. That's not a person to me. That's a number. I don't know who this guy is. I don't know if he looks cool. I don't know if he's wearing something cool. I don't know if his hair looks cool. I don't know if his headset's cool. I don't know if his chair's cool. I don't know if he has a beard. I don't know if he has some beautiful mustache. I can't see. And I'm not going to click in there because I don't want to sit through a 30-second ad to see if I want to look at that person. You want to know who else I'm going to click? This guy right here. I'm going to click on him. If we're looking at the top 10, and if I'm unimpressed with stuff, I'm going to click this guy because he's big. And you know what? He looks cool. He's got a bright colored shirt on. It's a V-neck. He's a person to me. You got to be there. You know where you don't want to be? You don't want to be over here. Because you run into the same problem that this guy has here. You hide behind the viewer number. If you're hiding behind the viewer number, nobody can see you. It's funny, actually. I think I can do this. I want to give you guys an example of a good friend who recently discovered this. Him and I talked. This is The Strange. If you don't know The Strange, you need to follow his ass. He is an amazing streamer. Like he's absolutely legendary. And I hope he doesn't mind me doing this. And if he does, I'm going to peel it. I'm going to take it down real quick. But let me find a clip. So he used to stream on the left side. Now, when you're on the clips thing, the pictures are bigger and everything, but you can't see how these things block the real thing because these aren't the same proportions. If I remember properly. And you also have one on the right side on the clips because it tells you how old it is. But I want to show you guys a clip because this will really show you. Let's see. Got to find it. This is really going to show you. I guess it's a clip I made. Oh, here. I want you to see this clip. He moved to the right side. We talked about it for a while one night about the importance of it, and this happened immediately. I'm gonna stay on this side so you can see him in this clip. But listen to this.
The way my camera was the left-hand side was being blocked by certain numbers, basically be like viewer numbers like that. So like that was blocking me, and it was making it a little bit harder for some people to see me. Oddly enough, I know someone's gonna say "I told you so" in here, or at least thinking that. But as soon as I started the cast, we're like 10 minutes in, gameplay's not even started. We're just chilling, chatting. A viewer came in here named Gimme a Dollar. Gimme a Dollar came in, donated 100 bits, and then I asked him, I was like, "Yo, you're new here. Does the camera being to the right-hand side make it a little bit easier for you?" And he just goes, "I was browsing. I clicked on it because I was looking for someone who used a webcam. I see your webcam clearly, so I showed up." And I was like, "Thank you." And he donated quite a few hundred bits. So I'm grateful as fuck about that shit. And then we gave him a sub.
Follow The Strange, by the way. Please follow The Strange. He is deserving of your attention. He's absolutely incredible. I learn a lot from him. But let that resonate with you. The right side is important. It is so important that I would rather block elements with my body than... Here, I'm going to switch it back. It's annoying me. I'd rather block elements with my body than I would be on the left side and be blocked by elements, if that makes sense. I do have another video I released that explains how you can move elements properly so that you're not actually blocking them. So that's on YouTube somewhere also. Watch it if you want. I even forget what it's called. But those are your two categories. Those are your two most important things if you want to grow. If you want to grow, category selection, being in the top 10, and having a proper preview image are the important things. I can go over preview images and evaluate preview images more and more and more if I want, but That I don't mind doing in another video, and we'll probably revisit it in more OBS stuff. But just understand that you are fighting for clicks. And most of us are lazy. We don't want to scroll down too far. The primary reasons I have grown at a rate of, well, how many hours have I streamed? Let's see, achievements. I've only streamed 1.4K, right? So 1,393 hours, and I'm quickly, my average is going up very quickly for concurrent viewership. But when I started out, I have always followed this rule. And I will tell you that I have always run a minimum of a follow an hour. My most common average, however, is like every 30 minutes or so. And it's going more and more and more. So, with that in mind, guys, I hope that makes sense. You want to be in the top 10. You always want to be in the top 10. Or very, very close to it. If you're counting on people scrolling, you better be in the top 15. If you find a category that you really, really want to play, and you want to be a Tarkov streamer so bad, well, if you don't have a following already, too damn bad. You're not going to be a Tarkov streamer that grows. You're just going to be a Tarkov streamer who constantly feels bad about not growing, and that's if you want to be a career streamer. If you want to be a hobbyist, that's fine. And I got no problem with that. I think that's fantastic. I think hobbyist streamers are really cool. I enjoy some myself. But if you actually want to grow your channel, stop wasting your time posting clips. Or, well, clip posting can be good. If you got something really, really valuable to share, I mean, you can go viral. You really can. But if you have a viral moment, you're going to know it. You're going to know it's worth clipping. You're going to know it. But if you're the sort of person who's constantly clipping every stream and that's what you're doing because you're trying to go viral, that's not how you go viral. You go viral on accident. Or you have a really, really good plan to go viral and you make it happen. But most of us don't have the skills. A couple people have the skills to do that. Most of us don't. I take a certain measure of pride. I don't know if pride's the right word. I guess we could say it. Yeah, pride's not always bad. I take a certain measure of pride in being very average. I have grown because I've made decisions, the right choices, played the right games. We'll talk about calls to action in another video. And we'll talk about viewer engagement in another video. But I would have never had viewers to engage if I hadn't made right choices. And so, where you can't look at somebody who makes streamer content and say, copy that person, because you don't want to copy that person, because you don't want streamer content, you want to play games probably. Well, can't copy them. And you can't copy the guy who went viral. It's very hard to do. Viral people aren't copiers. They're unique and special. But you can copy this, because the principle behind things like this is every decision you make, a game category, increases your % chance of getting discovered. Placing your camera in the right position at the right size increases your chance of being discovered. Now, it's up to you to woo the people once you get the click, but you can increase the number of clicks you get by smart decisions like that. It's very similar to YouTube thumbnails. YouTube thumbnails matter if you are a YouTube guy, right? That's why they make them certain ways. Well, you don't get a YouTube thumbnail. You got to be found in a category, and you get a preview screen that is constantly updating. But these are both factors that can improve your chance. So I hope that makes sense. It is repeatable. It is copyable. It doesn't mean you'll naturally grow because you still have to be the sort of person people want to follow, but that does bring people to you. If you do that stuff and you see that you're getting clicks, then you can ask the painful question of, should I be doing this or am I doing something wrong? And then you can deal with that separately. But if you're not getting clicks, no matter how much you improve your stream, if you're in position 95 of Fortnite, you could have the most bomb stream of all time. But if it's not getting clicks and people aren't experiencing you live in particular, because that's what Twitch is, it has a live, exciting element to it. If you're not getting those clicks, you never get a chance to show them your amazing stream. You could have the best stream of all time, but you're not going to get found. When I played Monster Hunter, I used to play with my wife, and you know what? I'll admit it. We both were on camera. I put her on the right side, and I was on the left because I knew that people were going to click my beautiful wife. And then they came in, and then they saw us interacting, and even though I had a ghetto stream, I got those clicks, and I got a chance to woo people, and we did. And some of my most faithful followers, some of the people who are my closest friends in the community that I get to share, those people I met during Monster Hunter almost 2 years ago, not like a year and a half ago. It's all about getting those clicks. And when we played Monster Hunter, we made sure we played in a time slot where we could get in the top 5 or top 10 positions, top 10 to 15 at that point. It matters. I hope that helps. I hope that makes sense. I know this has been an hour long, and that is just the format that I'm doing these things in. If you have questions, you can leave them below. You can contact me. Get on my Discord. Do something, please. But I hope this makes sense to you, because I will tell you that this is a bigger factor than anything else in my Twitch career. And now I get to do this full time because of my special circumstances. Obviously, that's not like, hey, I'm making so much money that we're killing it and I'm rich, but I get to stay home with my family and my stupid cat because we've made smart choices. So because it's repeatable, go for it. You can make smart choices. I think I'll end the video now. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I want to say. I will just say a note, in the same way that retro categories are special because people browse, just chatting is also. So the rule does not apply to just chatting, where you see me sitting in the 300s right now currently. At nighttime, I'm usually 50 to 75 when I do my show, but that's different because people actually scroll. So anyway, I think that's it, guys. I hope this is helpful. I hope it makes sense and is impactful in some sense to you guys. If you're playing big games and hoping to drag people from other platforms, and it's not working, this is why, because you're playing the wrong games. The harsh reality of the Twitch situation on Twitter is that I see tons of people really, really wanting to grow and playing the dumbest crap to grow and thinking that the lies are true that have been told to them by these coaching teams, that social media is going to bring you meaningful numbers. It can bring numbers, but it's more effective for certain sizes of people, and it's more effective for it's a different, it's not as effective as this. It's not. And I'll tell you what, you can do both. Just stop playing dumb crap. I mean, can you imagine if these people who are growing in either of those lanes, if they did both things? That's crazy. But make some smart decisions. Talk to me if you want to. I hope that's helpful. And yeah, we'll go ahead and end this at about an hour. We get about 30 seconds. So I hope it's helpful. We'll do more of these. It's almost like class. It's almost like teaching. I don't do this stuff on stream because I don't want my stream to be about teaching and about teaching Twitch. That's not what my people are. That's not what I am. I don't want to be a streamer making stuff for streamers to grow. I don't anticipate this grows. anything. So please learn, enjoy, help, grow. And don't listen to these people. They don't know what they're talking about. These big streamer celebrity or Twitter celebrities just don't know. They don't at all.